I hate being single. I'm a woman and I've been single for a long time. I don't want a causal fling. I want a long-term relationship that hopefully turns into marriage one day. I hate being lonely. I'm at the point of my life where I am ready to settle down. Going home to an empty home is depressing. Single life isn't that fun. People always say focus on your friends. My friends are married or have kids or have their own lives and families to go home to. My friends aren't my family, lol, they are just my friends, and at the end of the day they have their own family to go home to. Friends don't typically put their friends before family. That sounds silly. I rather focus on family tbh. I'm sick of internalized sexist women on social media including Reddit are always telling me I'm not allowed to have love or I'm wrong wanting to get married and I should just enjoy being single forever. Like no. Ever thought that's not what every woman wants? Why do you want me to fail? I feel like women just want to see other women be alone and miserable. Men have never told me to be a hoe and party forever and just to be alone forever. Men have been completely respectful of my own individual choices. However, it is always the women preaching this terrible advice to other women. I find it funny how no one ever tells men they are wrong for wanting to find a GF or wife. Whenever a woman says she wants to be married, then other women come out saying, girl, no, you don't need a man for shit. Go find yourself. Like lol, what? Trust me, I know who I am and I know what I want. Who are you to tell me what I want in my life or what I want to do with my life? Are you going to suggest I change my occupation too? Why don't you ever tell men to go find themselves? If you ladies are okay with being forever alone with a bunch of cats, honestly good for you. But I'm not, so respect that and stop trying to change me just because we are not the same. You all ladies can hate me for saying this all you want, but I want to share my life with someone. I want a man and I need a man. My goal's to be a wife and a mother. I am taking husband applications. I pissed on my abuser's grave. My father sexually abused me from a toddler until puberty. I'm now 40, it really stuffed up my life and changed me as person, so as an adult I maintained no contact. Last year my family informed me that he had cancer and was terminal. I decided to go to the police to report him for historical abuse as I wanted to see some justice before he died. Unfortunately he died before he could charged. My family assumed that I'd go to his funeral, but I chose not to, as I not only didn't want to hear anything positive about him, but I also couldn't trust myself not to get up and say something awful about him. My family couldn't understand. Anyway, a few weeks after the funeral I got a friend to take me to the cemetery to visit his grave site. It was located in a small country graveyard. My friend sat in the car while I went to find his grave. I eventually found it and silently said good riddance. All of a sudden I had a real need to pee. There were no toilets in sight. So it occurred to me that I'd have to just squat somewhere. And then I thought, why the hell not here over this evil person's grave? So I did. And it was the most satisfying thing ever. The best send-off I could have ever given the evil bastard. And I finally feel like I have the closure I needed. I have only told one person about this. I 25F keep getting panic attacks during sex with my 29M boyfriend. I'm 25F and my BF is 29M. We've been together for 3 years and about 2.5 years into our relationship I started to have really bad panic attacks during sex, like crying really hard during penetration and not being able to catch my breath. My stomach turns and I get really nauseated. I even threw up once because I was unable to keep it down. I'm not sure why this is happening all of a sudden, and it never happened before. I did go through his phone once and catch him texting other females, but he swore to me he never had sex with anyone else, and I don't know if I believe him or not, but I've also cheated by texting other people only after I saw that he was doing it, but I never went out and had sex with anyone else, and I'm hoping he didn't either. I just don't understand my panic attacks during sex all of a sudden. This is the first time it's ever happened out of all my relationships. I'd if it's just me or if it's a sign that my BF isn't shit. Or maybe my anxiety is just getting worser. I got a raging erection during my physical therapy today. I hurt my leg at work and have been in physical therapy. My therapist is a very attractive woman and honestly I definitely have key of a crush on her. I always try to keep things professional with her because I'm not here for that, and she's at work and honestly way out of my league. She is so far out of my league it's not even funny. Today she was working on my leg and positioned herself at an angle where I could see down her shirt. She has pretty big breasts, which honestly is definitely kind of my thing, and I felt it start to move. I tried to think of something else, anything else. Grandma's, poop, the smell of wet dogs, you name it. Nothing worked. I kept my mouth shut and prayed she wouldn't notice, but I saw her eyes turn and look at it and she quietly said, "Oh." I quietly said sorry. And we stood there quietly for a couple seconds that felt like years, and she said, "No need to apologize. You're fine." Then we moved on with the rest of the session in relative silence, then I left. I feel really bad and awkward. I just hope I didn't make her uncomfortable or think I'm some kind of pervert. I also don't want things to be awkward with us going forward either, because she's very good at her job and has helped me recover from my injury a lot. Either way, I'm incredibly embarrassed and wish I had more control over my body and hope this doesn't happen again with her. The man who abused me as a child died and was buried today. This is just a release. I wouldn't call it event. I'm not angry anymore. I am not sure I ever really was. I never told my family what happened. I was young, under 10 I think. It was a long time ago. He was a neighbor and family friend. I was at his house playing with his kids. Me and his son were in the attic doing things that kids do. He came to find us to bring us back downstairs, and I don't remember if I asked to use the bathroom and he came in after me, or if he took me into the bathroom. But I remember what happened after he was in there with me. I avoided him like the plague after that. I didn't ever step foot in their house again. I would play with his kids if they were outside, but I'd decline all invitations inside. I don't know why I never told anyone till years after it happened. Even then, and now, not my family. I knew it was wrong. He tried again once, when he had the opportunity to have me alone, told me it could be a secret between us and not to tell anyone else. I told him no. My dad was nearby, so he didn't try anything else, but he wasn't close enough to overhear. He was born in the same year as my mom. She went to his funeral. I think she's feeling her mortality a little from it. Whenever he came up in conversation in the past, I just say I never really liked him, and that was usually enough to stop conversations about him, but nobody ever really took a step further to ask why I never really liked him. I'm not sure I would have been ready to tell the truth if someone asked. If they ask in the future, I might. Now, I worry about not being believed, but I would also like to think I am the kind of person who people would believe isn't making stuff up. Maybe it was a fear of people making a big deal of it. I mean, it's a big deal, but I've never liked being in the spotlight with anything. I think that's a big factor in never telling. Then I'd just be abused in their eyes. I don't know that this was my train of thought then, but it is now if I had to guess.